agriculture was a noble profession area. But at the same time, many youth, even adults, were running away from agriculture. And it is because we have a wrong impression. The issue of myopic impression, when I mean myopic, I'm talking about when you cannot see so far. You only see the kind of operation you have at the back of your house. That's what some people take to be agriculture. And so the impression, the moment we mention agriculture, it is too labor intensive. Because we always talk about cutlasses and hoes. That's drudgery. And then we talk about for how long and how many days will it take me before I can establish maybe as big as this our church auditorium is, and I have to clear it all alone by myself. And so many people are thinking agriculture was not worth it. But it is because that was the backwardness we have as an impression in agriculture. And there are many people also associate agriculture with poverty. Because you can those old men in ragged clothes, and you see them with their hoes, and when they return from the farm, they carry one bunch of plantain, maybe on their head, and say, is that what I want to do in life? But I want to tell you here this morning that agriculture is a bedrock of every family, and by extension, the whole nation. There is a quotation, a columnist, people that used to write in the newspaper, that he wrote about agriculture. And before I talk about that, when we talk about agriculture now, we are talking about modern agricultural practices, where you can now be bold and be proud to say, this is where I belong. How many of us want to travel out? You want to go to US? Quite a number. You want to go to Germany? Quite a number. Okay, how many of us want to go to Ghana? Maybe nobody here. Okay, one hand. Because you say Ghana is so close to us, what is new there? Well, the news is this. About those places I mentioned, US, Germany, Europe generally, the rich people, they are engaged in agriculture. And it is because agriculture as a profession is very profitable. It's not only profitable, it's glamorous. When you mention a farmer in US, the government gives you attention because he knows if a farmer strikes, the whole nation will be in problem. Today now, if I ask you, of all the things we do, of all the businesses we do, who will wake up one day and will not eat? No one. And so, no matter how you want to put it, the most important thing that our body needs is food. And you get that from agriculture. Agriculture has even gone beyond just provision of food. Even the clothing we put on is a product of agriculture. You may be surprised. Some people will raise what we call livestock. And then they have times that they will remove the hair, the fur. And then they take it through some processing in the industry. And it comes out with beautiful garments. Beautiful attires that we put on. Everything we do revolves around agriculture. And that's why I say modern day agriculture is glamorous. Modern day agriculture is profitable. And modern day agriculture is fanciful. And my prayer for you is that the Lord will open our hearts to get to that stage that we see agriculture as a new gold mine. That when somebody hears about you, will say, you have made it. I pray you will make it. I can tell you the story of somebody very close to me. Not long ago, he retired, after having worked for some certain number of years. But because by training, by certification, everything he does, is an agriculturist. He is knowledgeable in the area of livestock. And then one day the man just we spoke on phone, and he told me that after my retirement now, my children are in the US, and I just feel like going to visit them. And do you know how he raised his money? The profit. When I mention profit, you know I'm not talking about the money you are using for capital. The profit that he made from his poultry business, just in one season, 1 year, was enough for him to travel to the US and come back without even asking any of the children to send ticket money. And so today now the man retired from a university farm there, but he travels as he likes. And for him to raise the money, it doesn't cost him anything. It's not touching the capital. The business is growing. And he just look at it and say, okay, from the profit I think I want to go on vacation. How many of you would love to be like that? The Lord will make it so for you in Jesus' name. And so that is just to impress on us that the more the Lord gives you understanding of the beauty and how to go about this course called agriculture, the more interesting and the more profitable it becomes for you. People did not think that a formal education was necessary to be or to practice agriculture. That is the misunderstanding in the past. That everybody will say, study a course in the university. So what are you doing? Agriculture. Is it more than this? And then you get what class? Oh, it goes well far beyond. And time will fail me this morning. I cannot tell you everything that I would have loved to discuss or to share with you because of the limit of the time we have. But I just want to impress on your mind that now agriculture is a business. Agriculture is beautiful, it's profitable, and with agriculture you can engage many people, millions of workers, and then you don't depend on anybody. And no matter what happens in the nation, people will always wait because they must eat. They will always use your products, from the cap you wear to the shoe you put on your feet. You get all the products from agriculture. I pray that the Lord will raise up mighty, prosperous people here this morning through the agriculture in Jesus' name. Now, the one that I know may really matter to you is, I'm a student, and then I want to proceed further to the university. What are the likely options that I can have in agriculture if I have to study agriculture? Well, we understand that everybody thinks there are just about 3 courses at your level. The moment you go to science and they ask you what do you want to become, either a medical doctor, a pharmacist, or an engineer. But if I sit you down and I begin to give you several options that science can take you in life, you will be amazed. Thank God nowadays some people are beginning to understand the place of computer. And do you know that even this computer now, we have it everywhere. We use computer in agriculture. The kind of agriculture I'm envisioning for you is the kind of agriculture I've visited, farms, where you don't even need people to run around. Computer, everything is automatic. The animals, the feed is supplied to them automatically. All you need to do is you sit in one office with your AC, full blast, and with nice snacks by your side, and you're just monitoring on your system. Okay, everything is fine. And then your animals, the ones that produce milk, they are milked automatically. You don't even need to go and struggle. The time you see the Fulani is doing. And that is the place of technology in agriculture now. That is the kind of dream I have for you. That is the place we're actually going. When we get into crop farming, and then all you need to do is to use a drone, you'll be amazed. That now, we use a drone to apply fertilizers on the farm. And then you use the drone to apply pesticide, insecticide, all the things that you feel will cost you days and days to do. Just at the tap of your system, computer, tablet, phone, and then everything is being operated and you are seeing it real time. Even to harvest, all you need is sit in your tractor. Beautiful tractor. Well, in fact, the steering is like you are driving a car. Not the ones you see on one village here and that. You see the man sweating and then pulling and pulling and pulling. This one, just with a touch of your finger, you can move it. And everything is well structured, set out, and the machine is doing the harvesting. It's doing the peeling of your corn. It's doing the shelling of your corn. And you find life so easy, so beautiful. That is what we are taking agriculture to when we talk about what we can do with agriculture in the universities. Now, very quickly, the options, the courses, as we have them now, in many of our universities in Nigeria, is you either go for a course like animal science, that's where I belong. In some other universities, they call it animal production. Some they call it animal health, because you deal with the health of the animals, just like a doctor. Then some they call it animal nutrition, others they call it animal biochemistry. The same biochemistry you study medicine, we have the application in animal speed. And then you can have another course like plant science, others they call it crop science, for others they call it crop production and protection, some they call it crop and environmental biology. They are all the same because the fields are wide. And then you can talk about agricultural economics, you can talk about agribusiness, you can talk about soil science. Anytime we talk about soil science to people, they think, what am I going to do with soil? Just look at soil. And you don't know that there is a thin line between the people you call geologists and the soil scientists. They meet at a point. Soil science. You can talk about family nutrition, home economics, hospitality management. All are options and opportunities that are found if you study agriculture. Now, if I finish agriculture and I graduate, what are the likely potentials? Where can I work? What can I do with my certificate? Quite a lot. I'm giving you the story of people that will go into farming on their own and they are making it. Of course, you can even work in the bank. They need you. There is a department in bank that we call risk assessment officers. People that will take loan and say, I want to go into agricultural business. They need somebody who is a professional in that field to actually assess his proposal, what he wants to do, and then he will advise and say, I think we can give him the money. You can work in the bank. Apart from being in the bank, you can even get into the accounting department, especially if you study a course like agricultural economics. You see, the more you track courses, you discover that the wider the opportunities and the more all these courses blend together. All you need in life is be proactive, be versatile, be smart. That is what will take you to the height of your dream. Apart from that, you can work in research institutes like IART, we have it in Ibadan. We have a place they call ITA, International Institute for Tropical Agriculture. We have a place they call International Livestock Research Institute. We have a place they call National Civil Research Institute. Quite a number of them. National Agricultural Extension Resources. Many. They're just all over across. You'll be amazed. The number of research institutes that we have, where they need you to come and practice your profession. Of course, you can work in the federal and state civil service. There is a department where you also function about agricultural development or the chosen courses depending on the area you want to specialize in. Of course, you can work in public schools. We have agricultural science teachers in our schools. And we can work in farms or farm estates. And of course, I will not forget to tell you, you can work in the university as a lecturer. I am one. And the options and the opportunities, they are bound. As I'm going to summarize because of my time, with your certification, you can become an agricultural consultant. People will come and meet you and say, I want to establish this. how do I go about it? You collect your money. You develop the proposal for him. You tell him how he's going to go about it. You are his consultant. You can become a scientist. Example is like soil scientists. They work even in the oil company. They need them to understand the structure and the nature of the soil that can possibly give them the place where the oil is found. You can work as an animal scientist, as a plant scientist. You can work as an agricultural economist. You can work as an agricultural extension agent. You can be a farm estate manager. You can manager in several areas of livestock like fish, pig, sheep and goats, cattle, crop plantation, quite a number of them. You can be a breeder. People that develop breed. I'm sure that many of us now, we are beginning to raise at our backyard one particular type of chicken. We call it broiler. How many of you have heard about broiler? Beautiful. That is the work of breeding. Let me tell you the secret of broiler. The secret of broiler is some people sat down and they said we have the local chicken. You know local chicken are very strong. Many people don't even bother to take care of the local chicken and they survive. Not so. Can you do that to broilers? No. And they said, we can do a blend of this kind of things that broilers are. They grow big, and then they must be strong. And before you know it, we'll produce what we call broilers. That is the job of a breeder. So you can be a plant breeder. In this OAG, there are some things in the market now that started from there. The one they call Oloyi beans, that brown one. If every and then the other type, it's actually a product of breeders from the university where we are in Ukraine here, and then it's circulated the whole nation. You can be a breeder, you can be an animal breeder, you can be an horticulturist. That all you do is raise flowers, and if you know how much people are paying just to beautify their environment. I know somebody in this garden that makes cool money from that. So the opportunities abound. You can be what we call field trials officer, forest woodland manager. Now this is where I want to end. You can choose to become what I call a value chain operator. When you look at all the products we have in the farm, take maize for example. Many of us will go to the market, will buy something like a snack we call Kellogg's. How many of us know that? We buy what we call, what's this other one that is very common? Cornflakes. How many of us know that? The product is from corn. Some people just sat down and say, how can we beautify it? How can we make it more attractive and more appealing? And then they came up with those products. Now, you go around now. This is Christmas season. And then everywhere you go, people are selling broilers. Not so. If you get into the value chain, you can just look at it that I can raise broiler not only on Christmas Day. Who are the people that raise the broiler? I am rounding up, I know my time is up. But in terms of value chain, it goes beyond just the broiler or the chicken. You can get into the farm and you look at the plantain people are producing. You know, in our own time when we were young, what we know is the one they call bakery. But what you know now is plantain chips. Somebody improved on it. Now we are taking it to a higher level. And you discover that most of the products we raise that spoil quickly, that is where the value chain actors come in. And what is your own job? They do the production. You take it off at the point of harvesting. And you transform it to something beautiful, and you make more than double of the money of the one that even did the production. The opportunities are wide. I invite you to the new goal we're talking about, and the Lord will prosper you in Jesus' name. Let's bow our heads as we have us pray together. Father, I just pray for these your children. We have discussed within the limit of time we have, but I pray that your Spirit will speak to them. I ask that you will inspire them in a mighty way, that where others are struggling, just like the case of Isaac, that in the place where people are clear that they say there is famine, and people are running away and they are going to another nation, But because he knew you, you spoke to him. And he said, stay in this land, and I will bless and multiply you. And where others cannot make it, Isaac planted, and he reaped 100-fold. I pray for this your children, as they are growing up in life, and thinking about the choices they have to take in their academic career. You will open their hearts. You will speak to their hearts. And you will guide them appropriately, so that when they will look back, they will give all the glory to you. Thank you for the time we have together this morning. I pray that you will inspire them more and more. In Jesus' name we pray.